Britain and the EU are still trying to secure a trade deal, after months of negotiations. Time is desperately running out for the two sides to reach an agreement, which is causing frustration among several European governments. They fear there won't be enough time to prepare their countries for a no-deal Brexit, especially as the talks have been hit by a new crisis, with a member of the negotiating team testing positive for coronavirus. Brexit Live, Macron orders Barnier to publish no-deal plan today, fishing talks collapse EU on the brink, huge revolt as incredible letter to EU chiefs compares bloc to Titanic as a result, they are set to demand that the European Commission publish its no-deal plans, which has so far been kept under wraps. A senior EU diplomat said, "We must now come up with contingency measures. January 1, 2021 is getting close, we need a safety net." Of course, this sends out a political signal. But it is high time to prepare people and businesses in case we cannot fix an agreement in time. I know member states will ask to get contingency measures out into the open. France, Belgium and the Netherlands appear to be leading the calls for the document to be published. These states are the ones most concerned about post-Brexit fishing rights, as they have large fishing industries reliant on access to British waters. The three countries are concerned that businesses and fishing communities will be hit by economic disruption without EU contingency measures in place to minimize the effects of a no-deal. Fishing remains a major sticking point in the talks, with the UK seeking to negotiate a greater share of its own waters. But the EU is determined for the status quo to remain, with French President Emmanuel Macron being particularly vocal on this matter. The pact is expected to be in place before January 1, in time to prevent tariffs on trade between the two nations following the expiration of the Brexit transition period. An announcement about the deal is expected over the coming days, sources told Bloomberg. Britain is Canada's third largest export market after the United States and China. Gordon Brown has issued a dire warning regarding the impact of not securing a deal with the EU before the end of the transition period, claiming that a no-deal Brexit would massively harm the UK's chances of procuring and distributing a coronavirus vaccine. The prospect of a no-deal Brexit has raised concerns that some of the coronavirus vaccine supplies might be held up. The Pfizer vaccine in particular, which was one of the first to announce that it could be 90% effective, has its manufacturing site is located in Belgium. Former Prime Minister Gordon Brown warned ITV's Good Morning Britain that exiting the European Union without a deal would lead to chaos in this area. Mr. Brown said, "This was a problem we expected with the flu vaccine if we had a no deal. Because so much of our medical equipment and our medical supplies actually do come from mainland Europe. Just like so much of our food comes from mainland Europe. So it's really important that we don't have a no deal." 8:44 a.m. Update: EU leaders will hold a virtual summit today. The EU leaders will meet via video conference to primarily discuss the coronavirus pandemic and the EU budget. But Brexit is likely to be discussed during the summit, as leaders are expected to push for an update on the talks by European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. EU states are also set to demand the bloc's no-deal planning is published. This is being seen as an attempt to exert more pressure on the UK.